Hello guys, welcome to Learn Testing Easy at Home channel. Today we are going to learn what is smoke testing. Smoke testing is nothing but testing basic features of a build in a high level manner is nothing but smoke testing. Here build is a piece of installable software that is given for a test engineer to perform testing on it. That is a build. Whenever test engineer gets a build, if we test basic features of that build in a high level manner means by taking valid inputs only. At that time it will be called as smoke testing, and it can be also called as skin testing or else dry run testing, sanity testing, build verification testing. And when it has to be performed, whenever test engine gets a build, first of all he has to perform smoke testing. It's because of if the build doesn't work for valid inputs, then there is no need to check for invalid inputs. First of all, it has to work well for valid inputs. If it works well for valid inputs, then we can go with in-depth testing by taking invalid inputs. So first of all, whenever test engine gets a build, first of all he has to perform smoke testing. Is that testable component or not? That is the first reason. And second reason is to find blocker defects. Blocker defects has to be identified at earlier phases of development lifecycle. It's because of, first of all, let us know what is a blocker defect. Blocker defect is nothing but a defect which doesn't let us to perform further testing. That will be called as blocker defect. And to find that blocker defect, first of all, smoke testing has to be conducted. If you find any blocker defect at earlier phase of development life cycle, so cost of fixing up that defect is very less, and we can give enough time for developers to fix it. It has to be identified at the earlier phase of development life cycle. If you find the same blocker defect at later stage of development life cycle, it takes a lot of time, cost, and the developer has to face so much of pressure to fix that blocker defect. It is because of blocker defect doesn't let us to perform further testing, and also it impact project time and cost if you find that defect at later stage of development life cycle. So to find blocker defects, smoke testing has to be conducted. And when it has to be performed, whenever test engine gets a build, first of all he has to perform smoke testing. And not only that time, if a build is installed in a new system, a build can be installed in a test server, and in a UAT server it can be installed. Whenever a build is installed in a new system, first of all smoke testing has to be conducted. And this is about smoke testing. I will give an example for smoke testing. Let us take, we have an application. In that application we have a build. In that build we have a age field, and that age field accept values greater than or equal to 18 and less than or equal to 40. This is the test condition for that age field. And testing that age field by taking input as 35 and clicking on OK is nothing but smoke testing. If it works well, if that if that input is accepted by that input field, you can call the smoke test has been passed. If it doesn't work for valid inputs also, then it's not testable component. That's a blocker defect. You have to communicate the same to the developer. He has to fix it. It's all about smoke testing. I think you understood what is smoke testing, why it has to be performed, when it has to be performed. That's it guys. Thank you.